Yeah, I think the best thing is just take it from there. So,
Okay.
we'll do this over again. We won't have to talk about all of that. I'll probably find a way to add our earlier conversation, because it was actually mostly you talking and telling stories, which was really cool. So I'll put that at the end. But
Sure.
to start with this, apologies everybody. We recorded 20 minutes of this, and my mic wasn't working. It's working now. But we've Adam Schaub and Nina Russo, Square Painter, and Tiny Ninja.
Hi.
We talked about a lot of stuff, art, mostly conventions, because you do crazy amount of conventions a year, and embarrassing stuff about Epic James, and we were talking cats here. To be honest, I don't have an agenda for this, so I'm not sure we should go over it again. We'll just keep talking, and
Whatever you want to do is cool.
happens. There's one thing I wanted to actually ask you about, because I've met a lot of artists and musicians and painters, and one thing I've seen very often is when two artists get together, musicians or visual artists or whatever. Sometimes there's always clashes. It's a very hard relationship to have. Same with comedians or actors and that kind of stuff. But somehow you seem to find artistically at least a balance, because what you do is very, very different. There doesn't seem to be a competition. Like, musicians will compete with each other. It's who gets the gig, or it's who does better and that kind of stuff. And very often when you have painters that have a similar style, or just do oil paintings or acrylics or whatever, like, there's always a competition. I don't know how you work, but it seems like, because you're doing stuff digitally, Nina, and then Adam, you're doing something that is so specific, that there doesn't seem to be that sort of competition between the two of you. Like,
there's really not at all.
No.
Because there's definitely a crossover. There's people that will buy from both of us, but then there's people that are just into retro games, and they'll buy something, from me, or they're a fan. I hate using that word, but they're a fan of my stuff, and they buy a piece from me. And then there's people that are, fans of Nina's Twitch stream, and they want to buy a piece from Nina. So we get a crossover, and then there's two different camps of people.
Well, it's also, our styles are so completely
so radically different.
They're so different. Our styles are different. Our mediums are completely different.
No, exactly.
So it's like, it's really, there's no real problem when we, it's not like I'm trying to do bead sprites or anything like that.
No.
So it's generally when we're at a show together, our two styles are able to meet because we're so two different people, we're able to meet a whole wide range of
absolutely
of interests. So it actually works in our benefit, because people will see my stuff, will come to the table and then see your stuff and be like, oh, that's cool. Maybe I want to buy this too. Or then somebody will see your stuff and then see my stuff. Yep. So it's it kind of works.
But also we'll have other stuff too. Like, you have that big piece of Rick from Splatterhouse from the first level. And then maybe I'll have a small piece of the Terror Mask or something like that. And somebody sees that, and then I'll point out, check out Nina's work, the Rick, piece, and then they buy both of them.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of crossover like that, where we help each other out a lot, and a lot of people, especially con goers in the Northeast for retro game shows, they know the two of us. They know that we're like a team. We always are doing shows together, so it works. We make it work. But it's really, we never even thought of that, of competition amongst the two. I mean, a little bit, but
I mean, with streaming now, but that's
different.
That's different anyway, because now you have a different time slot than I even have.
Yeah, because
so we're not even really competing in that way either. So
no, because you stream on Twitch at night, and the days that you're not, I just started streaming on YouTube.
I saw that on your channel.
It's been a lot of fun. And so I don't have a set schedule yet. I'm just kind of fucking around with it anyway. So it'll be like, oh, okay, I feel like playing some Fallout 4. Why not? Let me just set up a stream, and I'm gonna play for 3 hours anyway. Why don't I just get some watch time on my YouTube channel anyway to entertain some people? So we always work around that. I'll ask Nina, hey, what's your streaming schedule for the week, and I'll specifically make sure to do it earlier in the day, or just not even stream that day at all.
And now it's we have this setup this whole setup that
with
we're
the
using right
green
now.
screen we're
So
gonna be
now we
using.
can both actually do multiplayer at the same time.
Yeah, we actually, Nina got these really awesome lights
Which
right
is
here
why
with
we're
diffusers.
so well lit right now.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah, that was the.
Oh, is that the
bought
big
the
like
price-
square kind of white lights?
Yeah. Yeah, the big boxes.
Uh-huh.
The light bulbs were about as big as my head.
Oh, they're huge.
I couldn't believe it. I was like unpacking this, and I'm like, "Oh my god, look at this!"
We still have the box over here that it came in with all the packing and shipping
This
stuff.
guy keeps trying to get into it. It's
He's been trying to figure out a way to get into the box for the past week now.
You're way too big.
You're too big, buddy.
You're not as small as he thinks he is. He thinks he's about like the size of a kitten. Meanwhile, he's 20 pounds.
He's a 20-pound
He's
beast.
20
He's a,
pounds.
oh yeah, I'm just realizing now like how big compared
He's
to
a
your
big
hand, his head is.
Oh, he's
Oh, yeah.
huge.
He's
He's huge.
gigantic.
I wish that we could bring him to shows with us and just have Cloud sit on the table and just chill out.
Be happy.
Does he
I
go
know.
out at all? Do you let him out or
No.
no?
Well, what we're trying to do is we have a back porch, and
Yeah.
we're trying to enclose it so he can actually go outside. But like,
Right now, it's very unsafe. We actually
oh my god! So we had a big windstorm. We had a nor'easter hit, and the wind was so strong that it ripped the side of our porch off.
yeah, like the big
Wow.
there's
like-
just lattice now. There's not like
there
wood.
was wood,
Yeah.
and it just ripped the side of just was like. Whoop,
It was a total freak storm. It was supposed to be a little rainy 2 days ago.
Yeah, it was
2 days
like,
ago.
there was no warnings on the Weather Channel or anything like that. All of a
No.
sudden, I'm like sitting at work and I'm like
Whoosh.
hearing the wind, and I'm like, is it snowing?
But it was like
what?
that heavy, like icy, wet snow.
Yeah.
And there's trees down everywhere. Actually, when I walked down the street to the coffee shop to get us stuff, there was a tree that was down. It fell on some poor guy's car and smashed out the windshield.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
it was vicious.
People like lost power. Some people
Yeah.
just got power back.
We're lucky that we didn't lose power.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys
Oh.
get
Yeah.
proper snow, proper cold spells of where you are.
Not in
No,
Philly.
no.
Not in
No.
Philly.
No.
No,
We-
winters are a joke.
We get like
It's a few weeks it'll be cold.
Yeah, like we'll have like spats of like where it'll be like 10 degrees windy, and there'll be like maybe 3 feet of snow. And
No, never 3
we've
feet
had 3
here.
feet. We've had 3 feet, and but it'll only be like
That was that
once.
one- yeah.
It'll like be once,
And then it gets
goes
warm and
away.
it melts 2 days
Yeah.
later because generally in the winters down here, average of like around in the 40s. It never really gets that cold. From where I'm from in New York, like you say it's upstate. I'm from downstate New York, but it's up in the mountains. And see what I'm used to from around Thanksgiving until like mid March. It's freezing cold and it's constantly snowing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the winters are a joke
And
down here for me.
I grew up on Long Island, which
Yeah.
is it's an island surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean. So the heat from the ocean would always make it a very mild
Yeah,
like
yeah.
winter. So Philadelphia is pretty much like Long Island's winters, where it's like
Yep.
we got nothing really.
Oh, the Delaware River is right here.
Yeah, Ireland is super mild as well. It's
Yeah.
very rare to get even frost. You know, it doesn't.
Oh, I saw it was. You got a big snowstorm the other
There's
day. I
still
saw.
a bit of snow left in here now. We've had 3 days of just crazy snow for Ireland. I mean, it was probably in the worst areas probably a foot of snow. But
Oh, wow.
it's the most we've had since it was ever recorded. So
Wow.
it was quite crazy. We've had 3 funny days like which you barricade some of the windows because it was actually very windy.
Oh, wow.
And it was a cold spell from the east meeting a storm coming as well, so it was just magnified. So yeah, it was quite a crazy time, but it was just I growing up in France, I'm used to winters as well, so
Right.
it was just a normal snowy winter type of feeling. But people
I always
were
enjoy it.
panicking.
I went out for a walk. Actually, same coffee shop. I went out for a walk. It was like very Skyrim.
I hate the cold.
The way back, the wind changed and the snow changed to ice, and I was getting like pelted in the face with ice pellets. And goddamn, that was rough.
I hate the snow. I hate the cold. I don't like it. If it's like 60 degrees, I'm fine.
Oh,
I'm
yes,
happy. Any
yes.
like 80, 90 degrees, I'm fine.
That's too much. That's too hot for me.
I'm
like
sitting out there
50,
like
55 is beautiful.
I'm like
I get
sitting
warm
out
so
on
easily.
the porch like a lizard. Like yes, this is the best.
But when I lived in New York, I loved the winter. I would go snowboarding all the time with my
Yeah.
friends. So that was great. I haven't gone snowboarding in 5 years now. I miss it.
Last time I went snowboarding, it was on a bunny hill. It was the first time I ever tried.
Oh, you're
snowboarding.
gonna be on your ass the whole time.
And the thing is that there was no fresh snow. It was all hard packed.
Yeah.
So I fell on my butt like every time. I couldn't move the next day. The bruises were so bad.
Actually, I don't care for snow or cold or. But if snowboarding is involved, I'll
No, yeah, snowboarding's so much fun.
Yeah, where I lived in France, like it was actually in the middle of France, and then but we used to go to the Pyrenees, which is a mountain range,
right.
France, between Spain and France. So we used to go like a few times a year for a week, like just
That's awesome.
I remember as soon as snowboarding arrived, like I was like, because I was skiing since I was 4, like so I was like, I wanted to give that a go, like, and that's it. I even touched skis after. It's actually the stuff that got me into surfing as well, which is
really
most of the time, because it was a friend of mine. We were snowboarding, and he really got into it, and he started buying magazines. And in one of them, there was a people on surfboard on a wave, and like we'd never heard of fucking surfing, so we didn't even know what it was. And he brought the magazine, going, "You'll never guess what these guys are doing on water." I was like, "Oh wow, they're snowboarding on water." We thought
that's crazy. Yeah, I had no idea that there were like big enough like waves in Ireland to go surfing.
Well, people surf in Long Island too.
Not only that, we have very good waves. We're world class wave. And next Monday, I'm doing one of these shows with a big wave surfer, Irish big wave surfer, and
really,
yeah, he's a crazy guy. Let's see if I can pull up a video. He goes surfing like in winter, the North Atlantic, and surfs waves of 30 foot plus.
Jeez, wow. That's crazy.
Peter Conroy, I'm really looking forward. He's a fireman as well. Kind of overall cool guy. The kind of guy you want to be, really. But it's he's quite nuts. Let's see if I can pull something.
Yeah, I never tried surfing. When I was younger, I would do wakeboarding, and like the waves would come in and you get like that thin sheen of water right on the coast.
Yeah.
And you throw the board down and run and jump on it. You get like stick your fingers in the sand and spin around. I used to do stuff like that.
I would do boogie boarding. I used to
boogie boarding.
I love boogie boarding. I still do.
When I was living on Long Island, because it's an island surrounded by the ocean, like my family the whole summer we would actually live on the beach. So that's all I would do during the summer, is just go out and like be on the sand to the point where like my feet had calluses from the hot sand, because I would never wear shoes. So I'd be like, I was a beach child basically, like jumping over the jetty, like digging into things, finding like all sorts of weird sea life, and boogie boarding. Always with boogie boarding.
Any excuse to be on the beach or in the water, I'll take it. This is Peter. I don't know if you can see it here. This is the way.
Holy crap!
And he's somewhere there under.
He's in there somewhere.
Oh no, that's something. That's crazy.
Yeah, he does crazy stuff.
Wow.
I'm sure he's a very interesting guy.
So it'll be interesting. He does a lot of water safety as well. They do. He trains a lot of rescue guys. It'll be an interesting one. I want to ask you something, Mr. New York. What is it with drivers in New York? Giving you
drivers, East Coast drivers in general.
Actually, that's what I mean. Yeah, East Coast drivers. Giving you the finger at any opportunity they get.
Of course, absolutely. Aggressive as shit drivers. I mean, Philly drivers suck. New Jersey drivers are terrible. New York drivers are awful. Boston drivers suck.
Well, here's the thing.
They all have a different
the amount of time, like Fiona and I were driving, and we spent a good bit exploring the coast up to Maine, But the amount of time somebody passed us, and I don't know what we did, I don't know what happened, but we get passed by somebody who just goes like aggressively giving us the finger. It was just nuts. We're laughing at the end. Like the first time I was like, oh, what did I do? Like
what did I do?
Yeah.
No.
And I was like, oh, no, I'm sorry. And
don't apologize.
I was getting, the angrier I was getting.
Cloud,
don't get on the wire, bud. No. Oh, okay. He jumped over it. He was actually graceful for once.
No. Yeah, New Jersey drivers have no patience whatsoever. New York drivers have even less patience.
Very aggressive.
Philly drivers just literally, because the roads are so bad, you're like they've like grown to be like, yeah, whatever, we're just gonna make our own rules because there are none pretty much here. New York drivers, like, I don't know, we just are just constantly angry because there's just too many people.
Yeah, there's too. That's the thing with New York. There's just too many damn people in too enclosed of an area, and everybody is just pissed off whether they realize it or not.
But I lived and worked in LA for about 6 months when I was 20. And I never experienced that. Like, there is bad traffic, but it wasn't as aggressive, I found. Like, New York was just...
Well, that's just a cultural difference between New York and California.
The thing about, and because my sister lives in LA, it's like Los Angeles, like the people over in California. I mean, I don't know if it's also a combination of the fact that it's just so nice all the time, but it's like they are so, it's like very passive aggressive kind of thing. So they're like, you won't know that they're really upset until after the fact. And it's like, oh man, that guy was really mad at me.
Right.
And it's like,
I just couldn't care.
But it's also West Coast in general just seems more chill. Because remember when we were in Portland?
Oh God, Portland's great.
So it was great. So this is like the difference between East Coast and West Coast. So we're at like a 4-way stop. And the light is green, and there's a guy stopped at the green. And there's like 3 or 4 cars behind him, and they're all stopped. And the reason why this guy was stopped was so that the driver coming like coming from the other side could like get into the intersection and make a turn, and then they all went. And I'm like sitting there looking, like watching
it happen.
And I'm like, that happened, and nobody honked, and there was no screaming, and nobody got out of their cars and started banging on that guy's for like the door, because that would totally happen
in New York. That could happen.
New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, or like DC, Baltimore.
I mean, even with me, when I'm driving somewhere, if the light turns green and you are not moving within literally a second, I'm like on the horn, like move, let's go.
Why aren't you moving?
I got it.
Please
let's go.
I've got things to do.
I don't think I've ever used the horn on the car or my van ever.
Really?
Ever.
How often am I on the horn when I'm driving? Always. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
But I get that. Yeah, it was the finger bit. I never actually understood that anyway, because I'm not sure. I'm not sure who's coming at worse out of that exchange. But anyway, but
the finger is just to drive the point home that you fucked up. It's your fault. You made me mad, and it's your fault.
It's really funny because like. I'm driving with New Jersey friends and like realizing that like it's like why you're taking the extra effort to literally make a hand gesture when like there's no point. Stop it. Just go.
I generally don't flip people off. I'll yell out the window.
Yeah,
that's about it.
The New Yorker way. Though.
That's the New Yorker way.
You open up the window and then you yell at them.
You yell at what they did wrong.
It's like,
you asshole! You cut me off. Your fault.
And then you just go.
and then you end up, you get off at the same exit, and then like you're at a traffic light next to the person. You're like, oh,
it's
you.
Awkward stare, like kind of like side look, like.
I love the part where you tell them what they've done wrong. Like, do they ever actually turn around and go, yeah, no, I know.
No, never.
I was there. I know.
Because you're in the wrong to them, too. Nobody ever admits fault.
Once in a while, there's a shouting match, but that's generally very rare.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's East Coast culture of driving. I don't know. It's what it is.
It's what we do.
I've calmed down a lot. My father was terrible when I was a kid.
My dad too.
My dad still drives crazy, even though he will admit and say that he doesn't. My dad still drives like a nut, but he's calmed down a lot. He used to be way crazier when I was a kid.
But that's also the old school New York mentality. Yeah. It's like, because back in the day, New York was not what New York is now. New York was like
had grit.
New York was like Philadelphia. Like the roads weren't kempt. It was very like like not like places you'd go where you don't want to be at certain times of day because there's a good chance somebody would be trying to get into your car while you stopped at a stop sign. So it's like yeah. So
absolutely.
Like, our parents kind of like grew up like that, where they're driving through
like
New York City.
Brooklyn in the 80s. When I grew up, I was born in 81 and lived in the East End in Canarsie in Brooklyn, and it's not the best area. I mean, I had a good childhood growing up and like very supportive parents, but it was not a safe neighborhood by any means where I grew up.
Well, and I grew up in a an area in Long Island where people were dealing drugs like right down the street from my fucking. There were like on my block, I remember occasionally people getting arrested and stuff like that when I was a kid. It was. But back to the. Anyway, that's probably why New Yorkers drive like crap. Yes. Especially older New Yorkers.
Yep. Dude, we don't have to talk about video games at all.
Oh, all right.
Back to this is I have no agenda, so wherever the question is going, we're going there. This is what it is. Right. You know, it's
fire away with any questions.
I never wanted these to be an interview either, because it's always one direction.
That's fine.
They're awkward.
That's fine.
There's an adorable cat.
It's an excuse for me to chat with people I want to talk to.
No, and I was so excited when you messaged me about that. I was talking to you on Facebook. Also, you were at work. I'm like, oh shit, Ollie wants to have us on the podcast. We actually get to hang.
Yes,
via the internet. Like, we were just talking about recently how we missed you and Fiona.
Yep.
Yeah. We thought still that your GPS had like an Irish brogue.
That was the best. That
was the great. Life. Remember when we drove out? We got sushi that night. We were in the car with you guys.
Go ahead.
That was your first time having sushi, though, right?
Yeah.
It was my first time having sushi, yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. We were out with, like, Norm and Pat, Dan, Eric, all those guys.
Yeah, that was cool. That was really cool.
Yeah.
That was the last time I had sushi as well. I've changed my diet recently. I'm eating a lot more fish, though.
All right.
Chicken. I was like,
we were talking about, actually, before we realized my mic wasn't working, but we were talking about convention, how you do an insanely crazy amount of conventions a year, like 20 plus or something, and that's after cutting down, apparently. But you mentioned the cost of going to a convention. How? That's one thing people don't really understand. Like as an artist or having a stand, you know, or going to the convention, like what's the cost of the average cost of setting up Tiny Ninja and Square Painter for a weekend at a convention?
Close to $1,000.
Nah, I don't know if it's that much.
It depends on the show.
It really depends on the show.
If it's MagFest, it's close to $1,000.
Yeah, MagFest is probably close to. Well, actually, we got a really good deal on the room. It was.
Well, that was different. Like generally, because with the cost of the tape, and then you think the cost of travel, and then the food. Cost of the hotel, and then the cost of the initial.
MagFest, I would say, is.
It's a lot.
It was probably I did a rough estimate of around $750, $800 this year, and that was with getting a really good deal on a room.
But then also you have to factor in business cards, and then
business cards is more spread out amongst things.
But it's still
there's a lot of smaller expenses in there.
And then if I factor in the amount, because I have to buy I have to buy a whole round of merch for that show specifically because it's so crazy. So it really is close to $1,000 if you think about it.
For a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but especially for Mag, for the return,
it's absolutely worth it.
It's totally worth it. Just for how much you invest, for how much you get back. Like I'm actually now my Mag funds are dwindling down, but I have money left over from MagFest now in early March, 2 months after the show.
That's why we do it. That's why you put down the money for it. Because
that's why you put down the money, and I work for 2 months. I mean, you've seen the amount of paintings that I crank out. Yeah. So I'll start setting up ideas even in the fall. I'll be setting up ideas for paintings that I want to do for fall shows, and that spills over for like ones that I don't get to for MagFest. Generally, little 6x6, 8x8s. Those are like the affordable pieces. Yeah. So I'll keep that in mind for Mag. So while I'm setting up stuff for fall shows, that spills over. But for that, for my canvases that I get for that, like Blick Art Supplies by us here, they have bulk deals. If you buy like more than like 10 canvases of a certain size, they're like $1.50 a piece. Sure. So I'll still spend about $100, $150 on canvas alone, and then it's just the time to invest in that. But I mean, for other shows, usually a table will be about anywhere between $100 to $250 for the table for the weekend. Usually for a hotel for a few nights, it'll be around anywhere between sometimes it's cheap, $50 the whole time. It could be $100 for the whole time per person.
It also depends on how many people are in the hotel room.
Yeah,
that we're
depends.
with,
Yeah, it
and
depends on how many people are in the hotel room that we're splitting it with, how many days that we're there for.
Once or twice, we actually got a hotel room to ourselves, and it was awesome.
Oh god, yeah, we actually, it's so nice.
It's like what we
one
don't.
night. We had
we
one
don't
night.
have to worry about anybody. We can wear our underwear.
And we ended up like
What?
passing out. We ended up passing out at like 9 o'clock.
we
had the hotel room to ourselves.
So we passed out at 9. It was like, yeah, party.
Yeah.
That's what happens to Fiona and I, because we booked our own room, so it's like, you know, if we have the misfortune to go for a rest, that's it. We're not getting up.
Nope. No. You were like, I'm gonna go back to the room and take like a half-hour nap. It's like,
no, it's not happening.
like, especially with you, when Nina falls asleep, she is out.
At MacFest, the whole reason why I overslept was because I didn't realize I got a new phone. And I didn't realize that the Do Not Disturb function also silences all alarms.
Right.
Because why would you do like seriously? Like you specifically set an alarm so you can wake up. So why would the Do Not Disturb silence an alarm that you specifically set? I don't understand.
Oh, I woke your ass up.
Yeah.
We got up. We managed.
I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Did we? Oh, that's right.
I'm just hearing excuses
right.
here.
Everything. I woke up.
That was one night we were out and you. Yeah,
I was like, I'm gonna take an hour nap and then I'll be totally refreshed to do all of the things that night. And then I woke up at 2 a.m. I said, well, I missed everything.
That was what, the first night.
It was the first night. It was it was Thursday night. I think it was. It was Thursday or Friday night. It was one of those two. And I was like, no, it was Thursday night because Friday night was the Screenwave thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Thursday night at MAG is great because that's the first day everyone's there and everyone's super excited and ready to go.
And I slept through it.
Yeah, I mean, the parties every night are crazy, but Thursday night is like everybody starts getting drunk at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's like, all right, let's do this.
Party time.
The first night of any festival or convention is always the craziest because everybody overestimates their ability to continue drinking for the rest of the week.
Yes. Oh yeah.
It's just.
But still, even Saturday night, like what happened with me on Saturday when you were out. You were at Chris's thing, the DJ battle or something.
Saturday I was doing like 5 different things.
Yeah. So we closed down on Saturday around like 7, and I went back to the hotel room, and I was an adult. I got like this big coconut water, and I just needed to chill out. We had this outrageous room, by the way, too. Actually, our friend that's coming over later, he through some channels of things got us a presidential suite on the top floor of the Wyndham. It was gorgeous.
It was bigger than our actual apartment. It had a washer and dryer and a jacuzzi tub.
Yeah, so I filled up the jacuzzi tub and just turned the bubbles on and just sat in there drinking a coconut water for like an hour, and I felt great. And I had my phone charging, and I checked it, and I had like a whole bunch of messages of like people like, hey, you having a party tonight? Like, yes, whatever, fine, I feel fine. So everybody so people trickled in, and we ended up having like this crazy rager of a party on Saturday night in our hotel room. We had like 50 people over. It was great.
Yeah, the Wyndham, it sucked because, I mean, it was cold, obviously.
Well, we were up on the top floor, and it was cold and windy, and we were out on the porch.
It was, like, unusually cold. There was, like, some sort of crazy, like
yeah.
That was
it was really cold.
So it felt like it was as cold as, I think it was, like, Antarctica or something like that, or Antarctica was actually warmer than what it was.
I don't remember exactly.
It was frigid. Right. And so we had to, and even though it was, like, about a block away from the actual, like, hotel where MagFest took place at, you were pretty much, like, running the gauntlet getting back to the Wyndham because it was so, like, the wind was picking up.
Because, the river is right there.
So it's just... Yeah. Like you guys are making, I have gear for like frigid cold. So
you look adorable.
So I had like a jacket and like I had a jacket, my gloves, and like over, and then another jacket over that. The thing is that I have this gigantic like ridiculous jacket that comes down to my ankles, and it like I call it like my crazy homeless cat lady jacket because it's so big, like it's oversized. And
Nina looks like a puffed out Jawa.
It's like you see like this much of my face,
it's really
and it's
funny.
like this big fur like rimmed like hoodie, and I'm like, listen, I don't care, I'm warm. I can't feel anything in this. If I'm gonna have to be shuffling between 2 hotel rooms, I'm gonna make sure that I can't feel any of this bullshit going around me.
At night, like,
that's how I would handle it as well. Like I fuck the looks. Like I'm just gonna bubble up and yeah.
I said I was cosplaying as fuck the shit. That's exactly.
You did.
Yeah,
you did
I'm like, no, I don't care. I'm warm. That's all that matters.
Speaking of cosplaying, I've seen sometimes like on a few photos, you dress up for the odd convention. There's a lot of Fallout stuff and cyberpunk or that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
mostly Fallout because I've been just
steampunk.
too busy. Like, I've been too busy to, like, really make a new one. I've just been adding more stuff to my Fallout costume.
Usually,
Do you make them yourself?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
My mom helped me with the
jumpsuits, and then we added all sorts of stuff to them. But yeah, those are homemade. Usually at smaller conventions, I'll wear that one. I'll wear my Fallout jumpsuit, and then
it lasts for like less than
a few hours. And I'm sweating like crazy, so I have to take it off. But it's fun. There's other ones. I'm gonna do Max Payne from Max Payne 3.
Oh yeah.
And Too Many Games.
Because you really look like him, and it's really
with the shaved head, the beard.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I look like Max Payne.
Or the new Kratos.
Oh yeah, right.
I gotta keep hitting the gym more, but yeah, like Dad of War. I actually I should have posted a picture. Inadvertently, I wiped like red paint on my head. Accidental Dad of War cosplay.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but I've dubbed it Max Payne 5 or The Last of Zeus.
Oh my god, dude.
It looks good.
Well, back to Max Payne. The funniest thing was
yeah. When I was playing Max Payne one night,
he was playing Max Payne dressed in a wife beater,
like a white beater.
And the same thing, and it was like I was sitting here and I was watching him play. So it was him dressed in a wife beater in the chair, and then Max Payne was like also in a wife beater
with the shaved head.
So it's like literally like an image, like a splitting image, and it was just I should have taken a picture. I
could recreate that for you.
It was the funniest thing because it was very meta.
It's funny. Max Payne 3 is easily one of my favorite modern games, and as far as like third-person shooters go, it's the best.
I
It's
still
so
haven't
good.
played it actually. I want to try.
Oh man, the story is so good. The action is crazy. Like on your first playthrough, you kill well over 1,000 people. I actually just got an achievement on my game of like, because I've been going back and like getting all the unlockables. I've killed 10,000 people in that game. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm replaying. Well, I played half of it. I'm replaying The Last of Us actually on the PS4.
Oh,
nice.
I never actually finished it. But before that, I was playing Horizon Zero Dawn. That's right.
I heard it was so good.
It's so good.
Yeah,
so good.
Looks like Dino Riders.
I need to play that.
Yeah, as far as open world goes, like it was so novel. You know, it wasn't another fantasy RPG type of environment. Like,
right.
I
love.
It was like kind of brand new. Like,
game.
Yeah. So it was really really good. I recommend it, and the story is fabulous. Yeah,
nice.
It's,
as far as open world right now, I'm getting to the end. I'm playing Watch Dogs 2. The first Watch Dogs was kind of but this one, like, Watch Dogs 2 kind of flew under the radar. It is so good. I would be like a 9 out of 10. It's awesome.
I've heard a lot of that. Like, it's the Watch Dog that should have been out to start with.
Yeah, absolutely. The protagonist, Marcus, that you play as is like, he's just like a dude you'd want to hang out with, and everybody else that's like in your hacker group of DedSec. Oh, we got a guy coming back on the couch.
He's just been in everything.
And the game is just so much fun of like all the stuff you can upgrade, all the hacking abilities that you get of really trying to figure out like breaking into an area of like, you don't want to ever go in guns blazing because you're going to get your ass kicked. Going in and, you know, hacking cameras and setting up traps and things like that. And, you know, hacking, you get like a network code from one guard and you can break into like another part of this computer system and set all this other stuff up. There's so much strategy to it. It's so much fun.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm afraid to actually get into the series because then I'll have to play the first one as well, and it's just
well, you don't have to play the first one to play 2. I played a little bit of 1.
I just have to. It's like the Witcher.
Oh,
I
have
to play Witcher 2 and go back to Witcher 1.
Oh,
right.
Play Witcher.
Yeah, I've heard The Witcher 3. Like, you really got to commit to that game, but it's like people
great.
say it's one of the best games ever made.
Yeah,
But
I keep hearing
you
that.
guys. You heard about the cyberpunk game that they're coming out with?
The same developer that's doing The Witcher, Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, that's the one that was when the PS4 was announced. Like that was one of the first trailer that came with it. Is that the same one? Yeah, with the woman and the people shooting.
Yeah, it's some I forgot the name of the studio. It's some Polish developer, but they have been working on it for years, and they want this to be
like their
amazing.
Yeah,
they want it to be their next. Their next, like their other like IP other than The Witcher.
Yeah, make an open world cyberpunk game and take as much time as you need to make it good.
If it's as good, well, I've never played, but if it's as good as The Witcher is supposed to be, But in the cyberpunk universe, yes, I'll have that.
No, absolutely. I will. It's like that. That will be the last game I will ever play. Just I want to log into that and just live in a cyberpunk like city.
Isn't it funny, like with all the technology that's around and all the kind of futuristic games and all that, there hasn't been really a good cyberpunk game. Like it's something that's gripping.
Deus Ex has been,
but
like a really immersive one that never has.
Here's the thing. Does anybody remember Hellgate London? Does anybody remember that?
I remember the name. It kind of was here and there.
I think I was like one of like the 3 people in the entire world that actually enjoyed it.
I didn't
but
catch that. Which game?
It was called Hellgate London.
It was early 2000s,
it was
right?
supposed to be like it's a cyberpunk universe, like a post-apocalyptic or apocalyptic, like where like there's demons coming out of like just like shit's going crazy, and it's like all of this like futuristic cyberpunk thing. You got
like cyber horror.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. But I enjoyed. It was a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
There was some things that were wrong with it. There was like some bumps in it, but it was fun when you actually got people that were like that actually enjoyed it, or that were actually fun to play with.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I liked it, and then it was very short-lived.
Remember, no, but even the Deus Ex, like as good as they were, and I did enjoy Deus Ex a lot, but it was very dark, very slow paced. Like I was hoping it would be like just a Blade Runner type of,
that's what we all want.
Kind of stuff. It was very good, don't get me wrong, like but it wasn't the cyberpunk I was imagining when I was a kid, when you were a kid watching stuff like Blade Runner.
Yeah, watching Blade Runner.
Yeah.
No, of course.
That's what the future is going to be like, and that's what games are going to be like, and yet you still have to get a good one like that.
Yeah, well, Cyberpunk 2077 is like promising to pretty much be that.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
How's your tablet going, Nina? The Cintiq. I'm so jealous. I would want one of these.
It's so nice. The only thing that I didn't realize, so the one that I have is USB-C enabled. So I have to, like, if I want to actually utilize it with 4K, I have to get another PCIe card that has, like, USB-C enabled on it. So, like, right now I have, like, I have an adapter that's going from, like DisplayPort to, like, was it the Thunderbolt / mini display? Thunderbolt is what Macs call it.
All right.
And then it's going from there to USB-C. So it's like, there's a little bit of, the quality is degraded a little bit, but I mean, I can still utilize it, and it's amazing.
Oh, it looks great. Yeah, I was watching you draw on it the other night.
I need to like still mess with like some settings on it.
Well, as always.
But it's awesome. It's kind of cool because like now I have like the perfect combination. And when I eventually get Creative Cloud, then I can just go straight from my iPad Pro.
I really need to
there.
get that.
And we both need to. That's something we both need.
I do a lot of freelance design work and like remote stuff. I really need to upgrade to Creative Cloud.
Well, at some point we should do
do the both of you actually work in design? Or
I do.
Okay.
I do.
I work in tech. I actually repair computers.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what
do you do, like, when you say?
Like, right now I'm solely Mac based. So I'm like a certified technician at this like third party like kind of store, and we work like it's like professional and retail. So I do like a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I'm working on like at some point I want to get my Windows certs and my networking certs so I can do all.
You should. Anytime I have like I have a PC. Anytime I have like a technical problem or my graphics card was going, so I needed to replace a new one. That would have been like an all-day project for me. Nina did it in like 10 minutes. So that's what you do. You're like bolts and screws flying everywhere in my computer. So Nina does all the tech stuff for me.
Yeah, it's what I do, and it's funny because I work in a solely Mac-based like everything that I do at my day job is all Mac-based, but I'm also I build PCs as well. So every time there's a PC like that comes in, it's like we have a problem. I'm like, I got it. Don't worry. Like the other day, it was like I forget what happened. You
always have some story.
Something happened. Somebody brought in like a drive that wasn't properly formatted for Windows. So I like took out. I'm the one person that like I hoard computers at my job, so I'd like throw.
Just at your job, not here. No, we don't have like Macs that you've garbage picked that are like over there.
Listen here. I'm building you a computer, so you shut your face.
Yeah,
you have so much stuff.
You don't get to give out when if you can't fix or build your own computer.
Exactly.
But yeah, I do a lot of. I'm the tech person.
Speaking of which, actually collecting stuff, how you have quite a substantial retro collection as well.
Yeah.
Who gets?
How big is it?
It's big. It's not nearly as big as somebody like what's his name, John Hancock, who has 25 like full libraries. That dude is like on another level. But our collection is very respectable, I would say.
Sizable.
It's sizable. It's more curated, I would say.
How many boxes was it? How many boxes?
Oh God! when we moved downstairs in the living room, we moved from our old place.
That's when you realize how much you have.
Yeah, of how much shit we have, because we collect toys. Also, we had about 80 boxes. It took just the first day of moving was just moving our damn collection out of the house. It was about 3 trips.
It was when we realized that next time we do this, we're hiring movers.
Because, but yeah, we've been trying to figure it out with scheduling wise and stuff like that because it would take so long. Filming a game room tour of our stuff. Is the front room down the hall over there is where all of our stuff is. Like in my videos, you're only seeing like one little corner of it of where I film. It's just I have my Super Nintendo collection behind me. You can see some Genesis and some like boxed NES. Below me, I have 2 shelves full of loose NES games, which I'm debating selling off a chunk of that. But then we have a ton of other Genesis games. You have your N64 stuff.
The TurboGrafx.
We have all the a ton of TurboGrafx games.
We have a huge PS2 library.
Yeah, giant PS2 library.
And that's not even including our giant
and then with a collector case.
Yeah, we have a collector case.
And then we have this huge cabinet that's about 7 feet tall. And all of our, cool, like rare toys, rare video games.
Well, that's the collector case.
Yeah, all the really cool collector stuff that we like to show off and display is in that.
I have my Primal Rage box.
All your box Primal Rage toys, which are like friggin' impossible to find. You have 3 of them. It's crazy.
3 of them? 3. I got more than 3.
Well, no, like boxed, and then you have a ton of the other ones.
I have like 4. I have 4 or 5, and including the big ass the
T-Rex. Big T-Rex that I found.
Primal Rage.
Yeah.
Yep. I love Primal Rage.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on.
Yeah, we can go on and on and on about collecting. We've honestly slowed down.
Oh yeah.
In the past year and a half, 2 years. It's just gotten so expensive, and we have the majority of the stuff that we want.
But also, not to mention the fact that we have our own. Like the place that we moved in first. Like our first two apartments were actually houses, like full houses, and then just recently now we are in an apartment. Granted, it's a 2-bedroom, so we still have some room, but we don't have as much storage. We don't have a basement area. No, so now it's like
where do we put all this shit?
You were asked, it's like, I want to go out and go thrifting. I was like, stop bringing home things. We need to get rid of stuff.
Hey, I found Smash Brothers on the Wii for like $5.
But it's like we have a whole closet of stuff that we need to go through.
Yeah,
it's just we're at the point where it's like we need to just consolidate and like.
Yeah.
We
have boxes of toys that we can't even put out.
I mean, it's going to be great because our garage sale is going to be pretty fucking awesome because of all the ridiculous stuff we're going to be getting rid of. But
I've done that lately, just consolidated my collection. Like I've gotten rid actually of a lot of stuff, like all my PS2 stuff. I've gotten rid of altogether. Like I brought it to a shop and exchanged it for store credit, and I just got a load of cards for NES, Genesis, Mega, Master System, that kind of stuff. But even the Xbox 360 stuff, all the Wii stuff, GameCube stuff as well. And I was like, I'm never gonna play them. I didn't have one when I was a kid, so I ended up just selling all of that and refocusing on just cards, and then also Amiga stuff. I have a lot of big box for Amiga.
Oh yeah, the Amiga we didn't have over here, so I know how awesome that system is. I always see those awesome Amiga cards that you're picking up. I'm jealous.
This shelf here, that's all MSX stuff, like up in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's badass.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff. But yeah, because that's the stuff I had. So actually, I have Vampire Killer, which is Castlevania running. I was playing that earlier on before we had the, you can't see there, but and one of my projects is actually to build an arcade cabinet with an MSX2 inside.
That's cool. Yeah, I've been jealous of all those arcade cabs that you're like fixing up in your house and stuff. It's really cool. Eventually, when we have our own house, we will have arcade cabinets.
One of the reasons why I'm collecting all these machines is actually because I'm trying to build a mini MameCade.
Yeah. Planning ahead for the future, build the MameCade.
Yeah.
Like, no, because when you have like laptops and stuff like that, and I have the knowledge of like how to pull them apart and like rewire them so you can actually have like the display in another thing. As long as I can build a shell around it, yeah, MameCade's not a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, it's finding the shell. Like I try to get original stuff like and restore it and fix them. So I have a big red cab that's in all my videos. That's where the Commodore 64 stuff is. So I've gotten rid of that and set up a new desk just so I can work on electronics from here and I don't have to set up to change everything.
Well, your desk is
my desk is a mess right now.
Nina has a secondary desk that's like a workstation.
I have my workbench, which is currently my junk bench at the moment.
Yeah.
Only specifically because it's been I specifically set it up so I could work on the cosplay stuff, but it's been slow, so it's gonna just be like, here's the desk where everything else is gonna go.
Yep.
Yeah. So I need to. I need a third desk as well for painting. Yeah.
But my third desk is the back porch.
Yeah, our back porch is where all our stuff.
That's where all the spray paint and stuff.
Yeah, when I use matte spray varnish on all my paintings. Actually, I need to pick some more up. But that's where all of those go out, and I spray them down out there.
So what's happening now with Square Painter and Tiny Ninja with your channels? I mean, you're Tiny Nina. You're on Twitch mostly. Yeah.
I've been what I'm focusing now on is just trying to get affiliate on Twitch because YouTube, ever since they kind of did the whole like demonetization thing, it's like, well, you know, what am I closer to achieving now? Well, I'm meeting like pretty much all the goals for Twitch, so now it's just trying to get that affiliate badge so I can get subscribers, and then from there focus on YouTube. Like YouTube will like, you know, getting like a strong viewer base will come whenever. It's like, you know, I just gotta. There needs to be a focus. So Twitch is my main focus right now. The reason why I set up this thing is so I can do multiplayer streams more often, which is one of my other goals, and also start doing actual YouTube videos again.
Yeah,
because
I get to doing your horror reviews.
I haven't done anything in a while, like do like a game reviews or just shooting the shit and stuff. So, and now I actually like that was my big focus for 2018 was do a setup. Clean the studio.
We'll get that done. We'll get there. We have a lot of stuff to get.
Hey, I cleaned up the studio.
Yeah, I'd love to see you on YouTube, like in smaller formats videos, and see what you would do with it. Like, it'd be really cool. I'd love to see you, Nina, on YouTube, like in smaller format videos or whatever you want to do, like reviews or.
Absolutely.
It'd be really cool. Like,
I appreciate it. We're planning on doing that. Like, I've been trying to do like more conversational type videos online. It's like, like, you know, some Nintendo like rare NES games I have in my collection that are great, that are just worth it. You know, I got years ago that are worth a ton of money now, and you should just emulate the shit out of these. Like, don't pay what they're they're going for on eBay. I did another one of like my favorite video game intros. That one was a lot of fun. So now my next one, I'm still writing it out. My favorite video game endings. So we'll have a cameo for Nina because there's one game that you wanted to talk about an ending for. So we'll do some more crossover type stuff.
Yep.
And then we were going to do one also of just like our favorite PlayStation 2 games, because we both love the PS2. Like our recommendations of stuff that, you know, you guys need to play and check out. And there's so many good games.
Mine's all spooky stuff.
Yeah, spooky stuff.
Well, except for Cutlery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like those new videos you're doing actually, Adam. Like, it's how much of it is scripted? All
the other one, the video game intros one, that one was when I would bring in my footage and I was talking about the game. That was sort of scripted. I had just like notes on my phone that I was just reading like one line after another, and then I edit it together. But all of the other ones where I'm just talking about games, that's just me riffing in front of the camera off the cuff. I mean, I hear like all sorts of flubs that I'm saying too. Like I called myself out on some of them. I was talking about EVO, The Search for Eden, in my Super Nintendo video. And instead of Stegosaurus, I said Sterosaurus.
What is a Sterosaurus?
So when you're in front of the camera and you're recording for YouTube, it's a whole other different beast.
Yeah,
It's very. A lot of people think it's easy. It's like you're just talking. Like no, you're talking to a camera and you get in your own head and like, oh man, I got to hit on like A, B, C, and D, all these different points. So if it's like 5 Super Nintendo games that I've played a million times, I can just. I already have like a mental checklist in my head, so all of that is just unscripted. But it's been so difficult to edit that, so I'm trying to do semi-scripted stuff. I don't want to do ones because I have done reviews where I'm reading from a script, and I don't like the way I sound when I'm reading from a script. It doesn't. I try to make it sound natural, and it's not my natural inflection.
Yeah, I'm struggling with it as well. Like I'm just not a natural talker anyway, so I'm always struggling if I'm trying to do any type of video where I have to say stuff because I'm usually concise. You know, it's like
right.
Play those games; they're very good. And
yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah, it doesn't. Obviously, it doesn't work like that for YouTube. Mm-hmm. You know, you obviously have to be.
Of course, like what I'm trying to do is find a balance between, because I want to keep my Square Painter channel mainly focused on like video game art, and I know a lot of the other stuff, just like 5 games. It's just that's kind of a regular run-of-the-mill YouTube video. So I want to do things that are like that, but mixed with an artistic tinge in it also. So I wanted to do. The top 10 like most creative or best designed protagonists on NES. Then I was going to do best designed bosses or best designed enemies on NES, and then do Super Nintendo and do Genesis. So that's stuff that I definitely want to move towards. The speed painting stuff, I'll still possibly be doing those. It's just those are very difficult to do because I usually I'm holding my canvas and painting like this, but when I'm doing a speed painting, I mean, you know how you're doing them. I lay it on my desk and I have my webcam with an extension arm over me pointing down, and I'm just painting like this, and it's so anxious.
Comfort, it's
crazy.
I got an idea for that.
The what?
That you should get one of the on Amazon. You can get one of those little arms, like have my like that. You can just get an arm and just whoop,
point it over. But it's just that I have to. When I'm doing a speed painting video, I have my subject up on the screen, and I do that all in one take. And the video itself is only 3 to 4 minutes long, but some of those could take I'm sitting there literally I don't move for about 5 hours sometimes, and even if I pause it and get up if I have to go to the bathroom or something like that, it sucks if I come back and jar the camera a little bit. There'll just be that slight shift, and I don't like having when you stop it saves it saves your file and then you have a new one. So I hate bringing in multiple files into Premiere, and if I do an adjustment on one, I got to do the adjustment on the other. It's just so I like to do the speed paintings in one shot, and those are very time consuming and very taxing to do.
Yeah, no, I understand. I have the same problem as well. It's just and plus setting up, you have all that extra equipment, you need extra light, so it's just getting I'm in the room because you're there 5 hours or more, and then. Because physical painting, a lot of it is about your comfort as well. How.
Oh, absolutely.
Totally. You need the right angle. You need everything. So when you set up extra equipment, suddenly you don't have that comfort, and suddenly the painting is probably
comfort at all.
Yeah.
And then I have to constantly keep in my head because I'll be moving the canvas around on my desk, and I will always have my OBS open to see where it is, and sometimes it's I'm way out of frame and I have to shift it back because I get into the painting and I don't realize what the hell I'm doing.
Or it's gonna focus because your hand.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, those are good. I get a decent amount of views on those, not as much as I'd like. I mean, YouTube is so hard to get views and subs on nowadays, anyway. But it just for the amount of time and effort it takes. I'm not seeing the return on those that I'd like. So that's why I'm moving to other formats and trying other things.
Of course, yeah.
So I have a lot of ideas. It's just a matter of getting to them. The big hurdle for me is putting together ideas that I really like. Once I have it done, once I record it, the editing, it takes a while, but that's more of an easier part for me.
Yeah.
That it's like, okay, it's done. I got the pieces here. All I got to do is put it together.
Yeah. And did you get hit at all by them getting demonetized?
Oh, yeah, unfortunately, I did. What happened is my channel manager, Eric, 8-Bit Eric, has been awesome of trying to get my channel back on track because, you know, we're all part of like Screenwave Media.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You know Eric is a channel manager.
Yeah, Eric's a channel manager. He's fantastic. So I had the subs. I didn't have the watch time when YouTube first decided to change their algorithm or whatever you want to call it. I didn't have it. But I did reach the watch time, and I still have the subs for it now. But since I didn't have it back then, I got hit with the demonetization. So the next time they open up like subscriptions or to get your YouTube channel monetized for that, I hopefully will get my channel remonetized for it. Just a lot of smaller channels, a lot of growing channels got hit with it, and it really sucks.
Yep.
Yeah, the first episode I did of this was Lord Biff Music, and he's got like almost 5,000 subscribers. And he's not making the views, and he got hit. Like you're going, he spent so long, you know, just trying to build.
Yeah,
it's so stupid.
It's not about the money. It isn't, you know. It's about getting some form of respect from YouTube.
Exactly, getting more of the respect is exactly right. I mean, the amount of money I make off my YouTube channel is negligible, but it's just like I was monetized and now I'm not. It sucks a little bit, but it also gives you it's like a kick in the ass to like do more content, be more regular, do more good stuff.
But it's like at the same time, it's like it really is affecting. Like if you're a smaller streamer or a smaller YouTuber, and say you have a job, but you still are making quality content, it's just like you just don't have the time. It's like almost like you know, it's affecting these people that are trying to break into it so they can be full time.
It's very difficult.
And now you're really like you're basically taking what could be like you could take things could be innovating, people could be innovating, and now you're completely just making that like practically impossible now because what was the driving force for smaller people like where, oh wow, I can get monetized, like people like I could totally get monetized now, and it's like now it's just like nope.
Yeah, they keep sending the goalpost further and further back, and I understand because there's so many more, like there's millions and millions of channels on YouTube now.
But it's like,
but it really sucks.
Like you said, Nina, like it's if you're trying something different or something innovating or anything like that. Now, where is the incentive? Because YouTube just told you, no, it's not working. Nobody wants to watch it, so don't bother. That's really the message. It's not what they mean, but that's actually what we're hearing.
But it's totally it's what it sounds like. It's like you don't matter anymore. It's like or your innovation does not, like we're not about innovation anymore. We're just about like this. It's like, you know, it doesn't like we're not going to reward the smaller people that are trying to do something different. We're rewarding everybody that's already got there.
But especially when you're talking about art, you know, what we do is just so personal, and I mean, most people aren't really interested in art or, you know, either painting or music, let's face it. So it's really hard to find that niche first. It's there, but it's just finding it. It takes time. And now they're saying to smaller channels, look, don't bother. We're not going to help you, you know, do that. It's just, it's heartbreaking. I see it every day on Facebook, like people saying, got demonetized, thinking of stopping, and I'm going, fuck, like this is what happens.
Yeah, well, I'm never going to stop doing it. First and foremost, I started doing YouTube videos. I never did it to make money or anything like that. I did it mainly just because I wanted to, because I love the YouTube community so much. I wanted to be part of that. And it also helps build my Square Painter brand that I have, you know, another avenue for that too. So those are the reasons why, like, oh, cool, my channel was monetized, you know, whatever, that's fine. If my channel was to get big and I was making money off of that, that would be fantastic. But that's not ever was an end goal.
Well, also though, you're closer to it than I am. So
I've been doing it for a while. I only have like 1,300 subs.
You have 1,300 subs, and you have the watch time. So you actually are able to actually get the monetization versus me, who, I mean, this is like me coming like from the like,
I know.
I'm the smaller streamer, I'm the smaller YouTubers. It's like it's easier for me to focus on my Twitch, where I know for a fact that I will eventually get that like the subscriber button. I'll be getting all the things that I really need.
I can't believe you're not even there yet, because you get a lot of people that log in. You have like what, 800 some followers?
It's the curse of having a 40-hour work week job and also trying to stream at the same time. You just can't. Sometimes you just can't get the view time.
I know that's a big reason why I will work around Neena's schedule too for streaming. That, you know, because Neena works 40-hour week job. I work from home. That I will always work around Neena's schedule. It's like, look, you want to stream Wednesday night at 9 o'clock? I will make sure I'm done streaming any of the stuff, like the webcam is set up on your computer because we share a setup. And we have separate microphones, but we share a camera.
Yep.
Like that, Neena has her setup ready to go, and I'm not impeding that at all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course.
Neena, how hard, because that's word I know very little about Twitch. How hard or difficult is it to build an audience on Twitch? Because on YouTube, sorry, it's hard enough, but there's always a snowball effect. You know, as this channel grows, it gets more shares, more reposts on Twitter and that kind of stuff. How different and how much? I would suspect it's much harder on Twitch to build a larger audience from nothing.
It really. Here's the weird thing: is it's like Twitch. The thing about Twitch is it really all depends on who you know on Twitch. So when I started, I was lucky enough that I was just at the tail end of when it was like when people really started getting to know it. And I was also one of the few first group of people that was doing creative streams before Twitch was actually actively focusing on creative streams.
Right, it was just games at first.
So it's like I was there. Like all of a sudden I started doing artwork and people were like, oh cool, there's this person doing art. Not many people are doing that. So they'd come on my stream and be like, yo, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm doing this.
Wow.
And then also Chris was streaming at the time.
Chris, DJ Cutman.
So that I got involved with Game Chops, and through Game Chops people started knowing me. So the viewer audience that was tied to Game Chops kind of came over with me. So it's like from the way I built my audience was it also I jumped on the Five Nights at Freddy's stream too. So when I saw that was coming up, I was like, well, I'm a horror stream and this is a scary game, so I might as well start doing that. And that's where I got another group of people. That's how I got a lot of my followers also. So it's like it kind of just been like, it's pretty much just watching trends, making sure that, you have a group of friends that are also streamers that are, active. And Twitch is more of one of those things where it's easier to boost up other people.
Yeah.
Than YouTube. Like
it was
YouTube,
rating somebody's stream after they're done.
Well, because streams, what you do is you can host other people, and then you can so somebody who's following you will see, oh, well, so and so is hosting this person. It's like, oh, that's kind of cool. So then you go and you can watch that other person that's hosted by somebody who may have more followers than you, or you can raid somebody, or it's and now there's auto hosting, so you can actually set it so that when you're not online, you can automatically host this other person. So it's easier, depending on who you know and also what you're focusing on in Twitch versus YouTube, where it's a bit harder. I mean, there's a community, but it's not as Twitch is in the moment active. Right. You're constantly, constantly dealing with everybody, and it's a more versus YouTube where it's kind of there's a waiting period.
Yeah, it's putting out a video.
Yeah, and
garnering the attention for it.
It's less of you're not really in chat rooms talking to other people. You have the comment section, but it's kind of a slow pace, not like where Twitch it's right there in the second you're talking to somebody else.
You need then to be active all the time then on Twitch.
Yeah.
Because a YouTuber would be able to take a rest maybe for a week or two or a month or two or maybe longer.
Yeah.
Well,
and rely on the massive videos that you have produced already that generate some...
Even on YouTube now, I've noticed the only way to really, really make it, you gotta, are the days done of a video going viral and it blows up a channel? Who knows? I've had that discussion with people. Are those days over?
Yeah.
They might be. Some of my friends that I've seen their channels explode. They're putting out 4 or 5 videos a week. Sometimes a video a day they're putting out, and that's what YouTube is YouTube favors people that put out crazy consistent content.
The amount of content. Isn't Pat doing 2 videos a day?
Is Pat doing that? Pat is. I mean, he still does the NES Punk stuff. I know that. Well, the last time we were hanging out, he was telling me that. But the podcasts, you know, that it's very smart how, you know, he like him and Ian will break up segments and they upload that, you know, they'll do a podcast and then they'll break it up into like 10 segments and upload those to YouTube, and that's generally how I will watch their podcast anyway. We were just watching it, you know, last night. They were BSing about Bloodsport or something. I fucking love that movie. So I try to do that anyway, just to give them, you know, just to contribute to their views. Yeah. But yeah, he really hit on something. That's a great.
I think it's 2 a day or close. Well, sometimes 2 a day or at least 1 a day. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, it's a crazy amount of content he's making.
Oh yeah, well I
mean, obviously that's the clever way to do it. It works.
Oh, it is, and I know Pat's been doing it full time. He's got the book out now. He's doing great, but he also he's one of those people that he got on YouTube early, like you know, when was it, 2007, 2008 or something like that. I remember I was watching his videos. He started early where there weren't a lot of channels, and a lot of those guys that have been around for a long time, you know, they have huge channels now because of that, which you know, they totally deserve. The big thing for me, I still haven't figured out that I've one avenue of like really getting your stuff out is getting in like the recommended section, like recommended for you. I still have not figured out like the way to do that, like the niche. Is it watch time? Is it SEO? Like what is YouTube favoring exactly? I mean, I guess it's also like upload consistency, but like what else is the algorithm favoring to get your videos in the recommended section?
It's hard to know what's working now, and then they seem to be changing it regularly. Like they've changed it
constantly.
Right? So it's impossible to anticipate. But like it's one thing I never really worry too much about. Like for my channel, I just put stuff out and.
Well, your channel's doing great. I'm always watching and checking out your stuff. But what do you at like now at 20,000 subscribers or something like that?
Almost 30 now.
Oh wow! Yeah. Congratulations, man. That's
it's cool.
That's awesome. That's great.
It's it's going well. Like I'm happy about it. And if with those podcasts, if I can give friends exposure and to just
people to be curious, that's why
their channel or whatever. Like that's the whole point. It's a self-indulging exercise as well for me. I just want to talk to people.
Of course, it's great. We can always bullshit.
Yep.
But
that's the point.
That you're helping us just get exposure for our channels.
But I never did worry about it either. I just put stuff out. I've noticed though one day recently is that the lifespan of a video is much shorter. So it used to the massive views to be the first 2 days. Now it's the first 10 hours and it's gone. That's it.
Yeah.
Especially stuff like reaction videos. If it's something that's really big. You gotta, which I've been good in actually with we did reactions to the 2 It trailers and the Castlevania Netflix one, and those I saw like, okay, it's coming out at like 7 p.m. Eastern time, so like when you got home from work, I had everything ready to go. It's like, all right, let's watch the trailer and do this, and I will have it shot, edited, exported within a half hour on YouTube, and it really has worked. I got like thousands of views. What really sucked though, when the Last Jedi trailer came out, we did that, and for some reason, YouTube slammed my channel with a copyright strike for having copyrighted content of Star Wars when there's literally thousands upon thousands of reaction videos to The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
So
Disney does not play around.
Disney does not fuck around. So within like an hour, I had like 2,500, 3,000 views on it, and it was like, oh shit, this is great. Like this video is really taken off. And the copyright strike came through, and it hit when I only had like 76 views on it, which I guess was in like the first few minutes. Yeah. So it knocked it back down to 76 views. So I texted Eric, I messaged some people at Screenwave like, hey, what can we do? We got to get this copyright strike lifted and get this back. It wasn't
copyright strike. It got flagged for inappropriate content.
That's what it was. And I got a copyright strike. Yeah. I got one strike on my channel.
Like, so what?
But anyway, I was able to get all of that reversed. Yeah. But it didn't fucking matter because it was the next morning.
Yeah.
And it was like, you got to ride that wave right away, especially on something like the new Star Wars trailers coming out. You got to have that shit done immediately. So
you got screwed as well. You used one of my cover and you got hit by a copyright.
yeah, but that I got removed. You took care of it, and that was no big deal. That was just it temporarily demonetized the video, and then as soon as you cleared it, yeah, it was with Bubble Bobble, right?
No, I didn't do anything.
Oh, you didn't?
No, there was nothing I could do like from my side because the copyright wasn't coming from my channel. It was actually coming from somebody else, another entity who claims the Bubble theme as their own, which is they don't own. Because I've tried to use that cover of mine, so it's my own cover. I've tried to use that on another video for my other channel, and I got hit with a copyright claim.
That's so crazy of how it works. You get hit. Because that's happened. I've only had that with a handful of times. Just that one time when I used that one song, I used one from James, Epic James, and I think that happened, and we cleared it up right away. And then one other time was with the guys in On Being Human, and like immediately, like I messaged one of them on Facebook, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll just take care of it." And it was fine. So those things generally aren't a problem.
Yeah. No, I never like loads of people have used. Yeah, I've had loads of people use my music. I never heard actually of copyright claims. Like, I'm not sure what I could do. I never experienced that, but yeah, no, it wasn't. Yeah, it was actually coming from somebody else. I don't know who.
That's so weird. And I make sure whenever I use somebody else's music, like I will go back into like the description and make sure, hey, music by this person. Here's the link to the video. Here's the link to their channel to subscribe. So I always try to cover all my bases for anything like that whenever I'm using somebody else's like material.
Yeah, it's crazy. My beautiful friends, we've been chatting for an hour and a half. 20 minutes of which didn't include my voice, but I'll probably put that.
You can still figure it out. Hey, you know, it's only 6. My friend, he just texted me. He's not getting here till 6:30. Right. You wanna? We can talk for another half hour. That's totally cool with me.
Whatever. Yeah, no, it's just. So
yeah, we're speaking of partying, it was an inadvertent thing. We're going out to Barcade. It's a bar and an arcade.
Yeah, just
tonight in Philly.
hop on a plane.
Come on over.
Yeah, just
come on over. Come back.
over to Philly.
Yeah.
I got one at home.
Oh, do you?
Well, I have a whole arcade room. Like I have about 9 machines.
Oh, well, yeah, of course you do. But Barcade is great on Sundays because it's really chill. There's no one there. You can kind of play whatever you want. The bartenders know us. Yeah. So it'll be nice. We were talking about we're gonna play some 2-player Metal Slug.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
They got. Or do you want me to beat your butt and bust a move again?
Oh, bust a move I'm not good at.
Yeah.
You want to cheese me in Street Fighter?
Yeah.
All Neenja does is play as Blanca and just button mash, and I'm like trying to do combos with Ryu.
Nope.
Or Ryu, excuse me.
Chaos. You don't know where I'm going. You don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I love a Street Fighter machine. I've room for one more arcade machine in my setup, and so I'm trying to decide what is. I like old games, like classic games. So I have a Pac-Man, I have Arkanoid.
Oh hell yeah, yeah.
Arkanoid. I have a Double Dragon, and I have a Kung Fu Master. Outrun. I have Outrun.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I've Donkey Kong, Cabaret, the mini Donkey Kong. I have a Galaga. So it's all that era, like, you know, pre-90s really. But I'd love a Street Fighter too.
Oh yeah.
If I ever have the chance to buy an arcade machine, the only arcade machine that I'd ever really want, I know I'll probably never find it, is a fucking Splatterhouse arcade machine.
Oh god.
I know.
Splatterhouse, I would love to have one too.
Because that's my favorite. The arcade version of Splatterhouse is like my favorite version of Splatterhouse. I love the TurboGrafx version. Don't get me wrong, but
I watched you beat that game, no problem.
But it's like the arcade version is so much better. There's like, because they don't take anything out, and the Terra Mask is the proper color that it's supposed to be, versus the pink in the TurboGrafx version.
Magenta.
The curse of getting into the arcade stuff is that it fucks with what you're starting to collect. Yeah, just like there's a few games like Shinobi or Shadow Dancer and that kind of stuff for the Genesis that I'm going, well, I have the original PCBs now, so do I need the card for the Genesis, knowing that it's not as good and it's not, you know?
Yeah.
But every time now I run through the filter of does it exist in arcade? Is it better? And will I even play it then? Because now I have the fucking real.
Right, because you have the arcade cabinet. I don't know. With me, with certain games like that, like, you know, Shinobi or something, a franchise or a game that I really love, well, I gotta have. I love collecting variants on it. Like when we were at Long Island Retro Gaming last year. one of the big shows that we do. I love the Sega CD. I love collecting the Sega CD. One of my favorite games is Rise of the Dragon, talking Cyberpunk. It's a great Sierra Cyberpunk point-and-click adventure game. And there's the regular plastic clamshell version, and there's the much harder to find version with the paper sleeve, the thin like cardboard one. And this guy 2 tables down, do you remember I saw that? And I knew I was not leaving without it. So I get what you're saying. Oh, if I have an arcade cabinet, do I want it on the Genesis?
Well, that's
with me, if it's like something that I really love,
Yeah.
I want like Alien versus Predator. I would love to have the arcade cabinet of, and the version on Super Nintendo is nothing like the arcade game at all, and that game actually sucks. But I just want it just because I love Alien and I love Predator.
That's like
And
me. I have how many copies of Silent Hill 2?
Yeah.
And you know what? Actually, I'm talking shit because I would get them for the Master System, even though they're atrocious on the Master System. But it just I would actually probably get stuff I have in arcade on the Master System just because it's a Master System and I love it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I had a Master System growing up. Like I would definitely I have Double Dragon on NES and Double Dragon's completely different on the Master System anyway.
You had a Master System growing up.
What?
You had the Master System growing up?
Yeah, I was the weird kid that had the Sega
Weirdo.
Master System. And I was the only one in my class that no one even knew about that.
I was the weird kid with the TurboGrafx.
Yeah, you were the weird kid with the TurboGrafx. I didn't get an NES until about 88 or so.
Yep.
But yeah, I loved the Master System growing up. It's unfortunately here in the States, it's gotten very expensive to collect for. But I have my original system. I have a whole bunch of my original games. You had like Rampage still. You just imagine you had Rampage for Master System.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that was like Atari 2600 was the very first system I had when I was about 3.
Yeah.
And then Master System I had for years afterwards. Actually, when I lived in Brooklyn, the local video store had a small section of Master System games to rent, which was really nice to have.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you play the remake of Wonder Boy 3 then?
No, I didn't. Wonder Boy 3 actually was very difficult to find in the United States because that came out very late in it. I think the Genesis was like already out in the States by the time Wonder Boy 3 was released, so it got a very, very low print run here. So I know I've only played that game on an emulator, and I've heard the new one is really good.
It's beautiful. It's stunning.
Yeah.
And then they're making a different company, but making a sequel to it of sorts.
Nice. I love the covers that you've done from the Wonder Boy series are great.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Super excited. It's been so nice to me as well. So yeah, there's about 7 tunes I've done in so they're not the main musics, but they're part of the game somehow. So yeah, it'll be cool.
When are you gonna do more stuff from ActRaiser? That's one of my favorite soundtracks.
Yeah, I haven't done anything from ActRaiser, but yeah, it's in my list, and it's a 7-year-long list now at this stage. So
Yeah, I'm sure I'm being facetious anyway, because I get like those questions all the time too of like, when are you gonna paint this? When are you gonna paint this? Like,
I was saying to David Ortiz, like, how fucking annoying is it when you've spent hours or weeks or something on a video or on a painting or a cover, and the first few comments you get is, "Oh, do this next." It's like, can you just spend 2 seconds just telling me that this is nice?
with my Streets of Rage, so many people are like, "Oh, that's cool. Why didn't you do Streets of Rage 2? That's the better one." It's like, motherfucker, I just spent 3 months on this. Can you appreciate this?
Yeah.
Come on.
How about you try and paint it yourself?
Yeah, you do it. You made Streets of Rage 2.
Yeah, it's so fucking annoying. But I know they mean well, and it's
Exactly. They mean well.
I always
They
have to
jazzed
see
up
it. Look,
about it.
they like your stuff enough to request that you do something. They like,
Exactly.
but
Exactly. So
my first reflex is to say, "Motherfucker, you fucking do it then." Like,
yeah, I don't overtly get mad or anything. I won't do that. But
I hear it. I hear it behind the scenes.
Oh God. Yeah. I know. I won't even. I'm not even gonna repeat because other people might hear it. It's just like when certain people message me and they ask me certain things. I'm always nice and I'm very cordial when I message them back. But Nina gets to hear how fucking pissed I get when I get people asking me for like a requests that they think are normal, but they're absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
Like, are you nuts? I won't get into specifics. But
why are you doing this?
Fuck.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why
I
you
get
doing
this
that?
with covers as well. People requesting certain songs that wouldn't be possible or not at all in the vein of what I do, and I'm like,
No, of course.
Yeah.
do you even know what I do? Like, have you watched the channel at all?
Right. And then people will be like, "Oh, how come you've never done a painting of like Master Chief from Halo?" Like,
What?
What? Like, I can do custom pixel art of that. I'm not really a big Halo fan, but look at what I do, and you'll just think about it for a second, and you'll realize.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, it's you have to take it the way it's meant, but yeah, it's always irritating.
Yep.
Like the first
Yep.
action.
I
Like,
just,
okay,
I don't-
take
I
a deep
don't-
breath.
Yep.
But Nina, do you ever get on streams like people saying or giving advice or saying, oh well, you should do this, or you've done this too much or too big or too small, or
Oh, I always get like people who ask me to do like, it's like, oh, can you,
Experts,
like, I'll be
yeah.
like, I'll take,
yeah, the experts.
yeah, I'll take sketch requests. And then somebody's like, can you do like, and then they'll give me this like crazy elaborate thing. And I'm like, no. No.
The elaborate requests.
It's like, I'm doing a sketch, bro.
and they tell
Yeah.
you I can really see it, and I'm fucking delighted you can. I can't.
It's like,
No.
listen, it's like, I want to, like, it's, but then it's like, you gotta just put your foot down. It's like, hey, can you, like, you nicely be like, you know, how about we do this instead? Like,
Right.
let's do a let's meet midway here. We're not gonna do this, but let's do this
Let's do
instead.
this. The one request that I've gotten over the years, I'm sure other video game artists have gotten it too. It's like, why don't you paint the entire first level from Contra? Why don't you paint the entire first level of Dr. Wily's castle from Mega Man 2? It's like, do you have a 40-foot wall and like
Yeah,
$40,000 that you're gonna pay me to do this?
Who's gonna buy it? You know?
It's like people just don't.
They don't
know.
understand. They
It's
don't
like
understand.
if you're not doing this on a daily basis, they don't realize it's like.
Yeah.
And also, it's also depends on like your skills or whatever. It's like somebody, yeah, sure, somebody might be able to do this really fast, and like, but it's like that's not me. That's like it's
No,
gonna take me a little bit of
no.
time planning. Granted, like because I haven't done this before, or like I haven't actually actively drawn that, so it's like I don't have that in my like because my mental like book of like things that I can actively draw on the fly.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
people don't do if they're not doing like pixel art on a daily
Right.
basis, they can't
You don't understand.
mentally figure out. It's
Right.
like, oh, actually, this many pixels or squares, this width and height. Okay, so it's like I get the you get angry at first, but then you have to like reel it back and be like, this
Yeah.
person has no idea.
Exactly.
what
I
goes into
generally
this
don't. One guy who he commissioned me for stuff. He's a really nice dude, and we got to be like a little friendly. It was like, hey, would you ever think about doing this? And I was just like, because I've gotten the request so many times that I'm not like get pissed. Like I'll just explain it. Like this would just be the most massive project ever. It would take away time from my job, from shows, from painting, from my relationship to do this.
It would be a lot.
Yeah, there's a life behind that, but if plus like space, I mean, you have to store those pieces. I'm
Yep.
told, or that aren't shifting, or
Oh yeah.
or they're too big and they're gonna stay for a while because they're too big.
Oh,
for
yeah.
most people,
I generally try to stay away from doing huge pieces like the big Ninja Gaiden 4 foot by 2 foot I have up on the wall over here. I've had for years. It's just it's so hard. It's so hard to sell those because
Yeah.
the space for
That
people.
Star Wars you did, I remember, was
Oh, I still have that.
That's above our TV.
Yeah, we actually have like this little
God.
inset like alcove where our TV is, and the Star Wars painting fits perfectly in there.
Yeah.
That was like, I'll do really big ones for showpieces. Like if they sell, they sell. Whatever. If they don't, it's cool. I like to have them at the shows. Star Wars is obviously my favorite movies of all time, and like I wanted to do something like giant. So fuck it, had to do that.
You need to do a giant Enterprise, another one.
Another Star Trek
a
painting.
big
yeah,
one.
it's a stunning piece. It really is. But is it one of those that it's for sale but not really like?
I have a number in mind for it. I mean, I get asked all the time at shows. It's like people come up and they're like, I gotta ask, how much is the Star Wars? And I just tell them like, I got a number. You make me an offer. The worst thing I could say is no.
Yeah.
I've had a few people that have offered me a number that I'm happy with. No one's pulled the trigger on it yet. And honestly, I really don't care if anybody does. If someone does, sure. If not, I will be more than happy to keep that piece.
Yeah, I've a few pieces like that I even sold from
Yep.
the gallery days, and they're for sale, but they're not really. I have a number in my head. Most of it is a personal kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, like I brought one piece out of retirement. If you look on from our Magfest setup, this big Mega Man 9 piece. It was the first really big one I did. It's Mega Man, Beat, and Rush with a cityscape behind him. when I first did that piece, my technique, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So I had it sitting around for years. I just loved that piece. And I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to bring this thing out with like all my techniques and everything that I've learned now. I went back and I put a fresh coat of paint on it and cleaned it up. And that one I love so much for so many different reasons that one is like, you'd really, really have to throw a huge number at me if you want to take that beast home.
Yeah,
But like, just logistically of how much work has gone into that piece, and just, you know, also my connection to it, how long it's been with me for, what it represents to me. It represents that Square Painter could be something more than me sitting in my room in my parents' house over 10 years ago painting, that it could have been something more of doing shows and actually making money off of this.
Yeah, I have a few pieces like that are it's just because so much of it
artist does.
there's a huge effect to every piece you do, you know.
Yep.
And whether it's traditional art or digital art, like there's always a, like you look back at it when you've done a piece and you sort of, well, I do anyway, but I remember what happened like in that week or where I was.
Oh, of course.
So there's a lot of memories attached to a piece. So there's a few of them that are hard to say, not because they're necessarily the most beautiful or time consuming to do, but because there was, you know, something happened to it. And
right.
Yep.
Or even just little things like I did a Rampage piece years ago it's still in hanging in digital press. It's been there for years. It's pretty much their painting by now. But I remember the work on like the bricks in there was very repetitive and doing that over and over again. I remember being it was still living with my parents in New York, and I was snowed in then. We had this outrageous snowstorm where I remember when I finished plowing the driveway, the snow was well over my head. It was like the drifts were over 6 feet, and I was snowed in for days, and just remember just painting that.
I remember my first set of stickers that I did.
Yeah.
And that was in our first apartment, and it was I didn't have a proper desk, and I did it in a beanbag chair.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working on my laptop because it didn't have.
It was very late.
Yeah,
you were up very late.
I was up very late. I was working on my laptop, and then I printed them out because this is before I even had.
Yeah, and you cut them.
Yeah, I cut them. I printed them and I cut them out. I remember how like the whole process, like. Mina kept stealing my chair.
Yes, that's our other cat did.
Like,
they were all Zelda, like Link's Awakening themed.
And that was like when it was hot as hell on the first floor. We were just like pretty much cooped up in our room because we only had air conditioning in our rooms.
Oh yeah, our first apartment was just
so bad.
It was very much an artist's first apartment of us living together.
God.
It was looking back now and laugh, you could laugh, but it was such a shithole.
Oh God.
It was such a shithole, but
didn't have proper heat.
No, didn't have proper heat. It got so cold in the wintertime that if you went downstairs, you'd see your breath.
You had to wear a jacket.
Yeah, I've lived in places like that as well. Like I'd find ice in the bathroom in the morning in winter. Like
Yep. We had that too.
Yep.
We had a lofted bed, so if like you put your hand out like this, you're laying down, you can touch the ceiling. And once the weather started getting a little bit colder, the squirrels like to come in and run around in the ceiling. So you'd hear their nails like scratching on the ceiling. We'd have to bang on the ceiling every night.
So they go away.
So they go away, and then eventually they learned that we can't harm them. So they didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, like they just stopped giving a shit. At one point, we had roommates in the back rooms. They were coming in through the back of the house and then coming up forward, and so what happened was they scratched a hole in the ceiling and they actually were sticking their heads out.
Yeah, by the light fixture, there was a little hole. Yeah, they saw this little squirrel face come in and
then go back up, and it's like.
I remember hearing them scream upstairs.
Yeah, what happened?
The squirrel.
The squirrel.
The squirrels.
Oh my god! And it was a fight. It was a fight with our ex-landlord who. Yeah. Anyway.
No, but they're not getting in. It's like, dude, there's holes in the roof.
There's holes in the roof. We can hear them in the morning at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I've landlord stories as well. Do you know what? We'll keep them for next time, guys. Tiny Ninja, Square Painter, folks. I love you. I miss you. Thank you very much for doing this with me. Of course. Really cool. We'll do it again. I'd love to do it again.
Oh yeah,
we'll be back on. You want to have us on individually? Back on as the two of us yelling like idiots?
Yeah.
Whatever, man. I just enjoy hanging out with you.
We'll chat regularly. Anyway,
we
guys,
will.
Thank you very much. Tiny Ninja on Twitch and Square Painter on YouTube and pretty much everywhere else as well, guys. Thank you very much. See ya.
Bye.